The real cost of waiting to sell your home. Hello, everybody. My name is Roxanne Govari with Pemberley Realty, along with my partner, Santiago Guerin.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's video and live video. So looking forward to what's costing these homeowners, their home.
The cost of waiting,
Yeah,
right? It's funny because a lot of the times you wait for something and you don't realize that waiting is weighing on you as the person,
yeah,
right?
mhm,
So why homeowners wait? Some are waiting because the mortgage rate their mortgage rate is too low, or they're waiting for the prices to go up higher. They're unsure about where they're going to be moving to. They're emotional about leaving the home, even though the home doesn't serve them anymore. And also sometimes the fear of making the wrong decision. Um, like for example, I know a lot of um, empty nesters that are in two-story homes where they no longer are happy to go up and down the stairs. Those are, and before the accident happens, and God forbid they hurt themselves,
yeah,
it's a good time to sell that home and move into a one-story home. That's one example. Or we had another client whose kids had grown, and his wife had passed away, and here he was living in a 4,500 square feet two-story house that he was no longer happy in. Too much house for him to take care of, and he sold that house, two-story house. He sold that house, moved into a one-story, about 1,500 square feet, and his friends started coming and visiting him. He was a lot happier in a smaller house, still big enough for him to be able to move around and do everything that he wanted to do. But uh, if he wanted to keep waiting and dragging in a 4,500 square feet house, that's what's the cost of happiness?
yeah. And then also, I mean, some sellers that have bought their home, years ago with their mortgage rates being like super low, then now they see the high rates. They're like, I want something that's closer to the rate I have. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think rates are ever going to go down to those numbers?
I think it's important for people to remember, and I think people forget that we got those rates in a pandemic. And pandemics, thank goodness that they happen at about every 100 years, and thank goodness that they don't happen more often. But
Mhm.
that's the thing. Do we want another pandemic to hit? And as a result, we get such extreme low rates.
Mhm.
So in other words, when you have extreme low rates, you also have some shock to the economy, and that's the reason why the rates go down so low.
Yeah.
But the shocks like that to the economy are a lot harder to bear. So I think I think 5 or 6% rates that we have now are really not that catastrophic that people should basically put their lives on hold, waiting for a rate that was available only during a pandemic time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my opinion about rates and about waiting, because the other side of it is, we've had 17, 18, 19% interest rates in the 80s, right? So we're complaining about 6% interest rate. What if it starts going up the other way?
Yeah.
So that's my feeling. If you're waiting for the rate, that is the wrong reason to wait.
Yeah. Mhm.
So Um, and then there's other costs involved with, if you're if you're in a home that's no longer suitable, there's carrying costs associated with that home. And
Hmm.
are you okay to just sit there and basically, accumulate those carrying costs? Like, let's say if you're in a home that no longer serves you, and it's at average cost of keeping that home, let's say, is at 5,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
So you wait an extra year of being in that house, that's going to be $60,000 at the end of the day, at the end of the year,
Yeah.
right? So is it worth it to be waiting for it?
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the market right now, right?
Hmm.
This market is not the market of pandemic time, and it's definitely it's not a seller's market either.
Yeah.
We are in a real estate recession. We're definitely seeing the signs of distressed properties coming to the market, or need to come to the market. So that's the other part that okay, um, you know, yes, you may see these distress signs, and then you may say, "Oh, let me wait and let me see if it gets better." Well, real estate market is kind of like a Titanic ship.
Yeah.
It doesn't move that quickly. So if we're seeing distress signs, that it's not going to like
Yeah.
disappear like that, because it's kind of like moving a Titanic. It's going to be very slow and gradual for it to actually move.
Yeah.
So, if you're waiting for the prices to go up higher, well, you may be waiting in the wrong direction, because it may be like many years before that happens.
Yeah.
So, um, so given the state of the real estate market, also overpricing plays into that. Overpricing in this market is very, very dangerous, and it could backfire because um, buyers basically in a market where if they feel the house is slightly overpriced, or it's not it's the value is not there, then they just sit and look at that house, and
Mhm.
then that house becomes sort of a white elephant. Do you want your house to become a white elephant?
Yeah. I mean, and then the buyers start looking, waiting for a price reduction if it's too high up. And then if it's sitting long enough, they start thinking there's things wrong. So,
I am really happy to say we have an audience that is giving us comments, and very, very interesting comments, because the comment is that these are scare tactics by realtors. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. And well, we are a reflection of our economy, and in our economy, things get better or things get worse, and we just basically are in the trenches, and we're the ones that see things way before everybody else sees.
mhm.
So, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing signs of distress. That does not mean that the world is coming to an end. I want to put that into perspective. In 2009, 2008, not 2009. In 2008, we had 9 million foreclosures. And right now, as we speak, we have about 300,000 foreclosures. So that basically tells you an average foreclosure per year is about 300,000. So what we're saying in terms of if you're thinking of selling, now's the right time, is more of a what's the suitable thing for you as a family, and basically make your decisions based on what is the best decision for you as a person, and what is the best decision for your family, what is the best decision to create happiness for you and for your lifestyle. It does not mean that, okay, sky is falling, and let's just run and burn it all. So so thank you for that comment, but yeah, just putting it into perspective. Emotional cost. Let's talk about the emotional cost of waiting,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of the times, sometimes you think of, okay, I want to move, and I want to move because I want to go to, a different state, or I want to move because I want to get a different job, or I want to move because I want to be closer to family, or I want to move because I want to be away from family. Any of those decisions um, have a emotional effect on the person, and
Mhm.
waiting on that has a health issues that come up with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a couple of years ago, I had a I had a client um, that wanted to buy, and we found this beautiful home with a pool, and and then while we were in escrow, the family came to visit, and the family uh, did not want uh, to basically get their family member out of the house where they were living,
Yeah.
and so they didn't let that sale go through. And we're now, fast forward about 20 years ago, um, we have gotten to a point where the person cannot even afford to buy. So so when you're talking about emotional consequences of a move, it goes both ways. What you do at the time when you're thinking about it, most likely is the right time to make a move. And if you wait longer, you either come up to basically suffer emotionally, or create some consequence for yourself and for your life that will be more dire, I would say, to deal with. So when it's the right time, uh, put the emotions and the fears away and strike, and get to a um, better
Yeah.
situation and a better
I
life.
think it all comes down to the sellers. I mean, they have to kind of assess the situation that they're in. Um, you know, sometimes, you know, it might be the better option to sell. Sometimes it might not be. So definitely doing like an assessment on I would say everything, emotions, financially,
Mhm.
everything to see if they're ready or not to. So
Yeah, and hindsight is 2020, right?
mhm.
Um, when you are in a situation, you got to assess the situation, and then say, okay, you know, um, these are the pros, these are the cons, which one weighs out more?
Mhm.
And according to those pros and cons, then I'm going to make a decision, and then you just move forward with that decision,
Yeah,
because indecisiveness is not doesn't give you the best outcome.
yeah, yeah.
So so yeah, and let's talk about who should be selling now, or who should be considering to sell now, and who should wait, right? Um, what are your opinions in terms of who should sell now and who should wait?
I think the ones that should sell now are if you're living in a too big of a house that you don't necessarily use.
So
If
that
you're
would be empty nesters.
yeah, probably if you're Uh, you're trying to move out of the state. I would say that's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another option, if you're retired already, maybe downsizing, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. So you can, use the money to maybe travel or something like that. I would consider those people that want to sell. And then for waiting, I would probably say someone that has, um, that just moved into a new place. I would say you probably want to wait because then if you do sell, you might be selling at a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then if you're comfortable, where you're living, if you're already kind of close to where you work, if you have
Mm-hmm.
no really urgent matters or anything like that. So, what are some ones that you can come up with?
Well, I'm also thinking of investors, right? I'm thinking of investors, and I'm thinking of, if what if you're an investor and you're closer to retirement, or you are retired, and now you're taking care of a property that it's either costing you money, or taking care of tenants that give you a lot of headache. So, um, and if you sold, then all of those headaches would go away. You would get a bunch of cash that you could, live off of, and you eliminate the headaches for yourself. So that would be one good reason why you would sell. There was a saying that I heard that said, um, uh, "Die at zero." And the gist of the message was that, okay, when you're young, you want to definitely put money away, and you want to save, and uh, you want to be conservative with your money, and put money away. But then once you get to your later years in life, that's when you actually want to spend your money, and that's when you want to live a better life. And
Yeah,
so if you hold on to a property that is creating headaches and creating heartaches for you, is that worth it? Or would it be better to basically cash out at that point, and provide a better life for yourself?
yeah, yeah. I agree with that.
So, that's one reason why you would sell. But let's talk about the interest rates. Yes, interest rates should not make or break a decision in terms of buying or selling. But if financially it creates a situation that, so let's say you are in a home that you're perfectly happy in, um, uh, and you're thinking, okay, well, I can get into a better, bigger house, or I can get into a smaller house, but my interest rate gives me a comfortable payment per month. And if I sell and want to move, then then my monthly payments are going to be a lot higher, and I can't afford it. Well, that would be a good reason why you wouldn't want to sell,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So I think bottom line, it all comes down to how much can you afford, and what's the cost or advantage of your happiness.
yeah, yeah. And how much you're paying for your current home, like to maintain it and stuff like that too.
There was that is another very good point. There was a couple of years ago, one of my clients, and the parents passed away. The kids really loved the house. It was a beautiful home, and it was situated in a great place, and everything about it was wonderful. And the kids were like, "We love this house, and it's a beautiful house, but do we want to burden ourselves with the cost of maintaining this property?" Because a property like that, and also has a lot of costs, carrying costs associated with it, not just the mortgage and taxes and insurance, but the upkeep and the landscaping and everything else going with it. So, and the pool maintenance and all that. And that's where their decision came to sell the property, not just for the mortgage and the taxes and insurance, but for the maintenance costs of the property as well.
Yeah, it's very hard. Yeah.
So yeah, those are some of the reasons why you would or would not want to sell. And so on that note, we specialize in working with buyers and sellers in San Diego. And of course, we have our partners all over the US. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, you can go ahead and give me a call, or you can also call my partner, Santiago. There's his phone number. We also love to hang out on Instagram. There's our handle on Insta, and also on Facebook. We love to hang out on Facebook as well. And you can also reach us on our website, pemberleyrealty.com. And again, we love that you joined us, and we have some audience on YouTube. So thank you for joining us on YouTube. And what do you want them to do, Santi, if they're watching us on YouTube?
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Absolutely, just so that when we are when our videos are posted, you're notified about them coming through.
Yep, definitely.
And make it a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone. See you on the next one.